Okay, so realised I haven't really introduced myself or the boat. So firstly, I'm Stephen Roberts. I'm a firefighter in Hampshire. I have no rowing experience at all, but we plan on rowing this around Great Britain in 2026. We're also doing a challenge this summer called, or what we've called, Sea to Summit, so the Three Peaks Challenge in the UK. We're going to row essentially between them and run up the mountains. There's 6 of us doing that. We're renting a new Rossiter boat for that challenge. So if you want to follow along with that, our website will be in the link in the description below, so please check that out. So the boat, it's a Rossiter built boat, so it's finished in 2013, commissioned by Hannah Lawton, who entered the Transatlantic Challenge. It was a bit of a disaster by all accounts. If I find the BBC link for the news story about it, I'll put it in the description, because it's a pretty epic story. They essentially ended up losing their rudder, had a fire, and then got rescued by a container ship and taken to Canada. And then the boat made its own way the rest of the way, and then she had it shipped back to the UK. So the boat is 7.37 metres long, 1.8 metres wide, 2 rowing positions, 1 aft cabin for accommodation, and the forward cabin just for storage, I believe. There's a hull, so approximately 16.5 square metres, be handy for when I'm buying paint, is 210 grams of carbon amarid twill, and then 411 grams biaxial tape, so on all the seams, and then another 200 gram of carbon twill, an 8mm foam core, and then a 210 gram carbon amarid. Yeah, the rest is pretty similar. The cabins, so where I've filled in the compass hole, 210 carbon amarid, another layer of 200 carbon amarid, the foam, and then a single layer of 210 carbon amarid on the inside. I'm missing the rudder because that got broken off on its Atlantic. So Hannah has been in contact with me. She's been really helpful. She might have a few bits still, so maybe a rudder. I've also got a report of what went wrong on the crossing, so maybe change a few things. Might not use the same rudder setup. It was a cassette rudder setup, so maybe do something different. But yeah, so hopefully you're going to get this boat done this summer, hopefully, and get it on the water for some sea trials. 2025 be training, and yeah, maybe something in 2025, maybe some sort of challenge, a smaller one, probably not the Atlantic. Never say never, and we'll see how we go. So yeah, thanks for following along so far. If you got to the end of this, please like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll keep going. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye. electrical cabinet dismantled. Yeah, it's all just a bit outdated, and wasn't very happy with the state or the condition of it, so it's all ripped out and start again. Apart from the little sleepy wasp in there. I think the only thing that's usable is probably the AIS. Hopefully that works. Some of the fittings in this solar transformer thing are corroded, so that probably have to go. Fuse boards might be alright. Right, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try and get the primer on. It's warm enough, there's no wind. The trouble is I'm right next to this field, so there's loads of flies. But it's only the primer, so I'll see how it goes, and then maybe try and get it inside somewhere to put the top coat on. I've gone for Epiphanes 2-pack. So 2-packs are like a lot harder, goes off hard, goes off quicker, so it's slightly harder to work with, but you get a better finish. So the hull is all prepped and sanded at 220. I've cleaned it all with a degreaser. I've then gone over it with acetone, and I'll probably just go over it with a tack rag as I go. I'm not going to tip it off, I'm just going to try and thin it and roll it and try and roll out the bubbles. A little bit of an experiment, see how it goes. Yeah, I think I'm ready. Hopefully it's not a disaster, but it's only the primer, so we'll see how we get on. So that's the first coat, or maybe the only coat of primer on. It's just a really thin coat. Maybe I'll put a bit more on the top sides where I've filled and faired where the solar panels come off. Just so I don't have to put so many coats of top coat on to cover the brown filler. Seems to have gone on okay. There's like on the bow, I'll show you, there's like just 2 areas where there's like some slight bubbles, but nowhere else. So maybe it's just like a bit of local contaminants there. It's strange, but top's fine. It's just there. And the odd one dotted around, and the same on the other side. But nothing on the hull, luckily, so I think it is just, must be something wrong with that one patch. It's a couple of days after I put the primer on. Originally I thought there might have been some little like blisters where it had contaminants, but I think it was just air bubbles, like the odd little air bubble, so that's fine. Just maybe like tip it off a bit better when it comes to the top coat. I've got a few small areas to sort out. Like it's just the primer's highlighted little bits that need filling. Sort these out, get a bit of filler in there, and then probably put another coat of primer on cabins where it's a bit darker, and then sand it back. Probably I've got some 440 sandpaper, and then next week I just spoke to a farmer. He's happy for me to put it in a barn, so try and get it in there for a couple of days and get a couple of coats of top coat on. See how we go. Cool. Okay, I got the boat moved to a barn down the road because it's raining all week, so
never going to get it done in a week, and the paint, I can't go over 48 hours between coats of paint, otherwise I have to re-sand it. So I really want to get it 4 maybe coats done in a week. So luckily the farmer down the road has let me in the barn. Some 2-pack Epifanes, put a bit of brush thinners in there, get it rolled on. I'm not going to tip it off, I'm just going to see if it can go on nicely with one roller, see how it goes. This is how I'm putting the paint on. I'm going over it with a tack rag first. Already had a good clean. Loading up the roller, making sure there's not too much on it. Then I'm trying to get the paint on probably like ½ metre square, get it on quite quickly, flatten it out so it's nice and smooth, and then I'm just going over it on the final pass like really lightly, so not putting any paint on, just trying to knock out the bubbles. So we'll see how that goes. Back home, so it's been in the barn down the road a couple of weeks. Got 4 coats on now. I'm really pleased. It's the holes are really nice. They come out super smooth, super shiny. The top sides are a little bit rougher, where I think just dust sort of settled on them. But I think I'll be able to cut that back, polish it back, and it should come out nicely. Yeah, generally it's really good. So that was just rolled on, didn't tip it off with a brush, but it's flattened out quite well. Had about 10% thinners in it. Next, I need to paint the anti-slip, the non-slip on the inside of the decks. But yeah, that's not so precious, so get that done any time outside. Sweet. Yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry it's been a while to the last video, so I'll try and get the next one out a bit quicker. I've got a bit of time off now, so hopefully get a bit more work done. Cheers.